The FP1 in Monza, and like you all know, is a Ferrari home race and one of the most exciting Grand Prix of the season. The Monza track, temple of speed, one of the fastest tracks that you ever have. Beautiful long straight, long parabolica in which you can put it down all, and it's very hard to overtake, but you can certainly overtake. The place in which Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen had their 2021 tire on the head. We saw Ferrari bringing two drag reduction upgrades for the rear wings and the beam wing. Then the front wing, they brought a shorter cord. That's a circuit specific balance upgrade. We saw Red Bull bringing performance upgrades, floor fences, floor edges. That's what they brought. The Mercedes too brought upgrades. The front wings they brought, the floor fences, and also the rear wings. We had McLaren eating it up. We no go agree that the fastest now. We just want to keep bringing upgrades. We want to be the best. We want to be out there. Remember, McLaren had their engine issue, in which we know it was a hose that broke. It was a reliability issue from a hose. Again, in FP1 we saw the Mercedes had issue, but they said it was a hose issue. We hope it's something that happened like what happened last week to Lando Norris. They've sorted it out. But in F1 we saw Lewis Hamilton dominate, and we saw the Tifosi happy. We saw how the car performed. They brought upgrades, so almost everybody brought upgrades. Only Alpine didn't bring upgrades, but they brought an upgraded rookie driver to test the car in FP1. What Ferrari brought were performance upgrades. This is their home race. If they fail last one, they are in problem, because the Tifosi fans are like Liverpool fans. They can kill themselves. So it's going to be very, very chaotic weekend for them. They have to come in and deliver. And remember, Lewis Hamilton is having 5 grade pace penalty, and with the pace Ferrari are having on low run fuel, that car looks stable, looks good. We saw him in FP1 the way he was able to push the car and qualified, and FP2 might not be a little different. We will see that he will also push himself, and we can probably see if he qualifies between 1 and 3, then he should be starting between 6 and 8, which is a good one. It's very difficult to overtake, but it's going to be a very interesting one. We're going to see how these guys are going to push themselves to the limit and the temple of speed. But one thing is, if Ferrari can pull up a surprise, it will be a huge one for them. But remember, McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull are not coming to play. But on long run pace, I think Ferrari and McLaren look on the same pace. Others are a little bit far away from them. But the problem with Ferrari is, on high fuel, the car is not stable. The car is just everywhere. So let's see if there's a probability that the Ferrari will be more stable and they can present good speed. But what is a race? At the temple of speed, without the wind and everything taking these guys off. Kimi Antonelli was taking off. He was the one that brought the red flag in FP2, while his teammate George Russell brought red flag in FP1 at the end. He brought it on because he pitched himself into the gravel. He's a rookie that is trying to survive in a very, very fast and high profile team. Well, I don't blame him. I think he's doing a bit of what he can to make sure he gets the job done. I believe he can get the job done because he's a fantastic driver. The Mercedes team will be a little bit angry with themselves, looking like, oh, why did you sign the young guy? And I heard that they were trying to push him to Sauber, but Sauber were not really ready for him because they had their own young driver, that is Bortoleto, they want to promote, and also they're looking at an experienced driver. So it was difficult for them to promote him, but I think the stage in which he is now, he has a lot to learn, he has a lot to do, he has a lot to push, and it's going to be very, very interesting if Mercedes don't put him back in that seat, because who will Mercedes put back in that seat? Lewis Hamilton is certainly not coming back. And for those that are saying, oh, Lewis Hamilton, other drivers are not pushing themselves because their cars are not okay, it's only Max Verstappen, I think it's totally awkward rubbish that they are saying, because as we can see, all those drivers are pushing themselves. Lewis Hamilton, for once, does not want to disappoint his Tifosi fans because there's high expectation for him. And if for somebody that has high expectation, if he's not pushing himself, I don't know who else should be pushing, because he's the only person that can push himself. And if you don't push yourself, who will push you? So there's a lot of gap, there's a lot of things that is going to happen between now and the next few races. But the best thing is, it's going to be very interesting. You don't want to miss it. The upgrades that these teams have brought will also shape on their weekend. But in FP2 we had Lando Norris topping the charts, pushing himself, Charles Leclerc coming second, just some tenths away from him, which means the Ferrari is fast. Will the Ferrari remain fast because they brought this upgrade now? Will this upgrade be able to work to the end of the season and make the car faster? Will they be able to make the car faster even with more upgrades to come? Because the major upgrades they want to bring are over. It's just now bringing small bits to make the car faster. Can they close the gap and make sure next year we have a good race? What will happen in qualifying tomorrow? I think the battle is between just 3 teams, and those are the 3 teams we're going to see tomorrow: McLaren, Ferrari, then Red Bull, because McLaren are the top of the league. Ferrari will want to chase them because it is their home race, so it was going to be very interesting. I feel like it's a race to lose for Ferrari because they're going to bring their A game and push themselves to make sure they win that race. Are you ready? Are they ready? Are the fans ready for an explosive Monza Jeep? Well, it's left for you. Catch you guys in FP3 and qualifying tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye. Cheers.